scintillating, unrelenting voice of Mariah Carey in the morning time. Oh, how it just wakes you up and gets you set for the day. It is 20 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock in the morning time. Good morning, a wonderful good morning Thursday morning to you wherever you are. And we're happy that you up and about and ready to do your do on a glorious Thursday with us here on Classic. I'm Joseph Cador, and I'm here to keep you company up until 10 in the morning. Another really great day. I hope by all means that you're rested and you're up and about and you're ready for the demands they're asking of another great day and another day of productivity. And I hope that whatever happened yesterday, allow me to say to you that whatever happened yesterday is all gone in this history. Yesterday is the past, never to return. Tomorrow is the future. We have no idea what it contains. Let's live today. It's a gift. The present, let's make use of it. Whatever happened yesterday is all spilled milk. There's nothing we can do about it. So we're happy that you're here with us this morning, getting you on your way, keeping your eyes to the clock. 7 o'clock workers, you better be on your way. We'll kickstart our program this morning with the word for the day, as we try every day to get you to add to your vocabulary as it is. And so today, the word for the day is render. Render, R-E-N-D-E-R, and it is a verb. It's a verb. The verb render, R-E-N-D-E-R, and render, it carries various meanings depending on how it is used. So, render in the formal sense can be determined to cause something or someone condition, and in this context we can say that depression can render a person helpless. Another example, both passengers were rendered unconscious in the accident, right? Render can also mean to give something to someone. So, render an apology. He witnessed a car accident and stopped to render or to offer aid or assistance. So, to render. A free payment for service rendered for something that a person or a company has done for you. So you pay your utilities company for the services that they've rendered to us. That's the word render. And in legal terms, it's to officially report or declare a legal judgment, such as a verdict. The jury rendered a verdict of not guilty. So, the word for the day, render, and it is a verb, and it is spelled R-E-N-D-E-R. So, that's the word that you would keep at the tips of your lips today as you go through your day. What is the thought for the day? What is the thought for the day, Mikey? And we're going to go with a thought for today. And certainly as you go through the day, you are being reminded that positivity is the state of mind that helps you to imagine and see the possibility of what you can learn, earn, and achieve today. Positivity, yes, is the state of mind that helps us, Cassandra Thomas, helps you and me to imagine and see the possibility of what we can learn, earn, and achieve today. So today's a good day that we can challenge ourselves to stay positive, and just by virtue of that, it is possible that we may just be able to learn something that we never actually thought was even possible. Right? As you go through the day, reminding you that COVID-19, it is out there, and we continue to manage our business. Yes, that while the numbers they are being cases, giving us a total active cases of 134. So again, we continue to see that gradual reduction in the numbers, and we're happy that, of course, that is the case. 6 new recoveries, total deaths. We've noticed a decrease in that column as well, and we're quite happy for that, just 197. Yes? So we continue to see that, and we're happy, and we're quite grateful that that is the case. Now, on the issue of the vaccine today, Thursday, where can you get yourself vaccinated or tested? It's not just about vaccinated, but being tested as well. And the Kirani James Stadium, accessing gate B. at all the health centers across the Tri-Island state. At Sam's today from 12 until 3. Now, Sam's is from 12 until 3, and at the Guelph Polyclinic from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, if you're opting to use the health care centers, then you are required not just to walk with your ID, but you also have to call and make an appointment. That is critical. Critical to that is also that you call in is having the numbers. So the numbers, if you are in St. George, it's 440-3371, 440-3371, Grand Bras, 442-7626, 7623, St. David, 444-6249, Surtees, 442-9317, Guelph, 444-8414, and in Hillsborough it's 443-7280. For those of you that's on television, it's posted there on screen. So, and just some of the things that you need to know to keep you up and about as you go. Just a bit of updates on the regulations. Well, curfew goes into effect from 9 until 4. Yes, the beach, well, is open for swimming and exercise, not for the purpose of partying or anything of the sort. Weddings and funerals, they are allowed, but minimum persons of 20, and there's no set opening or closing time for businesses, but certainly you are encouraged to use your discretion as it is. Yeah, just a few things you need to know as you go through the day. What else do you need to know on this wonderful day where public officers' accounts have been credited? Yes, and that's the Horizon is happy to announce that the government of Grenada, of course, salary increases, back payments, has been credited to the accounts of public officers at their respective financial institutions. Horizon remains an ally to public officers in the evolving economic climate. Yes, so keep that in mind. Hooray, hurrah. So really, really, really great news as you go collect and spend and save. Remember me. Just remember JC. Yes, remember JC. Even when you're planning to get a salt ham for the holidays. The morning edition comes up next right here on Classic. For those of you that's on television, you get a rebroadcast of the top stories from last evening. I'll return to you on the other side of the clock when today is actually Talk the Thing Thursday. You get a chance to belch off, release what's on your chest. That's around 20 minutes past the hour. A lot that's happening. The phased re-entry into school. Have you seen what's happening to your electricity bills? Government saying you don't get a little reprieve not until 2030. Wow. And those and more, that's and more coming up in the morning edition. I'll be back with you on the other side. Until then, so long everybody. JC loves you and have yourself a really wonderful morning. And remember that positivity is where it starts. It changes everything. Yeah? Stay positive. Do what you've got to do.
Thanks for joining us with the news in detail. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. The Royal Grenada Police Force has charged a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for the 2019 alleged robbery at the Grenada Union of Teachers Carriacou branch. Nashawn Scotland received 3 charges of robbery with violence, possession of firearm, and money laundering in connection with the GUT robbery. Police also slapped additional charges against Nashawn Scotland and 4 other citizens of Trinidad and Tobago with the alleged robbery at the Grenada Cooperative Bank Carriacou branch on October 18, 2021. Alan Melville, Akeem John, Jabari Roach, Nashawn Scotland, and Keon Dick, all residing in Tobago, received additional charges for robbery with violence, money laundering, possession of firearm, and possession of ammunition. Melville and John also received an additional charge of possession of firearm. The men are presently remanded to the Richmond Hill Prison and are scheduled to reappear in court on November 3rd, 2021. Alana Modeste, a 32-year-old resident of Marquis St. Andrew, and Karine Ballantyne, a 24-year-old Vincentian national, presently residing at Marquis St. Andrew, were arrested and charged after officers discovered a quantity of drugs, an AR-15 rifle, and 14 rounds of ammunition in their possession. Charges of possession of firearm, possession of ammunition, and trafficking in a controlled drug and money laundering were preferred against both accused on October 24th. They appeared at the Grenville Magistrates Court today. Modeste was granted bail in the amount of $20,000 with 2 sureties, while Ballantyne was remanded to custody at the Richmond Hill Prison. They are scheduled to reappear in court on November 5th, 2021. In other news, Finance Minister Gregory Bowen says despite the promise made upon the repurchase of Grenlec shares that consumers will see a decrease in their electricity bill, such a relief will not be witnessed until 2030. Minister Bowen was addressing the drastic increases customers have experienced and possible measures government is considering to alleviate the cost to Grenadians' pockets. Gerard Joseph has the details.
The transition to renewable energy is proven to be a slow and drawn-out process, especially for Grenadians receiving their electricity bills. Finance Minister Gregory Bowen attributes the increases being witnessed to the fuel service charge and a rising quantity used due to citizens spending more time at home. However, the promised relief on the cost of electricity, Minister Bowen notes, is not to be expected anytime soon, as he alludes to the cost factor and hindrances in geothermal, solar and wind energy.
And it is part of our energy policy. And we've just come off the spring meeting with the World Bank and the IMF and the GCF, the Green Climate Fund. And we are positioning ourselves, that is why we say by 2030 we should be 100% renewables. This will take some investment. And we're working with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, we're working with the IMF, we're working with the World Bank, we're working with the V20s, you name it.
The minister says though Grenlec does not have to incur the petrol tax, Grenadians will have to contend with current prices while alternatives are sought and the investments are made in renewable energy.
So imagine that we have to get by 2030. We have to get to 100% renewables. Imagine the investment we have to make, maybe over $200 million. The point is, when you invest in that, the fuel surcharge that he's talking about now becomes something of the past.
He says government is working with the World Bank on a series of studies to determine the state of the bills.
It has to be, otherwise it has to be taxation coming from some other place that we have to take to say, well, Grenlec, you charge a smaller price. What is that smaller price? How much will we be giving up? We will be giving up, let's say, $10 million. And so some other tax type must move to help give that reduction in price of electricity.
I am Gerard Joseph, reporting for GBN News.
Moving on, Member of Parliament for St. Patrick West, Anthony Bolson, is the new chairman of the COVID-19 subcommittee. He was publicly named as the new chairman by Press Secretary to the Prime Minister, Philomena Robertson, during Wednesday's post-cabinet briefing. Cherry and Blackman Stephen reports.
The government of Grenada is reconstituting the COVID-19 subcommittee, which serves as an advisory body to the cabinet. Parliamentary representative for St. Patrick West, Mr. Anthony Bolson, is the new committee chairman.
And that was Press Secretary to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, Philomena Robertson, announcing the appointment of Member of Parliament Anthony Bolson as the new chairman of the COVID-19 committee. Dr. Bert Brathwaite called it quits after 1 year and 3 months of serving as chairman of the COVID Advisory Committee. His reason for doing so, he chose not to share publicly. However, he did tell GBN that the committee going forward is solely a government's decision.
Be determined how the committee is structured is obviously going to be determined totally by government. That's a government decision because it was appointed by government and through obviously the cabinet. So that's will be a decision totally in the hands of government.
Dr. Brathwaite vowed to continue service to the committee as they forge towards the eradication of the coronavirus. Health Minister Nicholas Steele expressed gratitude to Dr. Brathwaite for his contribution during Wednesday's post-cabinet briefing.
My thanks to Dr. Bert Brathwaite, as he served selflessly on the COVID-19 committee as chairman at a time when his expertise were required and valued. That time has changed, and we thank him for his selfless service to this nation. And I am very much aware the amount of time that Dr. Bradford did give came at a personal cost to him, I am sure. But he gave it as a patriot, and we thank him.
Minister Steele expressed confidence in the capacity of Boson as they chart a new way forward.
Who, in my opinion, is basically a social economist, not just an economist, and has very much in tune to our rural areas and the challenges that COVID-19 has placed in those areas. So I look forward to his valuable contribution, and Anthony Boson has served previously on the COVID committee.
Cherry and Blackman, Stephen, GBN News.
Grenada from Thursday will get an ease in the regulations as another week of a low COVID-19 case count has been recorded. This as amendments were made to the regulations, which will allow more businesses to be opened. But the state of emergency is also expected to be extended for another 6 months. Gerard Joseph has the update.
November 20th was the expected date for the end of the state of emergency within the state of Grenada after having come into effect on May 21st. However, the House of Representatives is scheduled to meet on November 2nd and Senate on November 4th to extend the state of emergency to May 27th, 2022. Government on Wednesday also lifted some of the regulations which come into effect on October 28th, with the curfew moving from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Health Minister Nicholas Steele, however, notes that there will be no prescribed time for businesses to close before the curfew comes into play.
The government believes that employers and employees are responsible enough and need to be given that trust that they will close in time for their employees to get home before the curfew, and they will ensure that. But that each individual business has unique circumstances and conditions.
Chartered boats and cinemas can now be reopened under Regulation 10, which requires patrons and employees to be vaccinated. Minister Steele says all entities are subject to physical distancing requirements. The change in regulations now allows churches to conduct weddings and funerals, but the numbers are restricted to 20 persons.
But permission can be sought based on the religious institution, the size of it for numbers above 20, for weddings and funerals in particular.
The health minister adds that while beaches remain open for swimming and exercise only, there is now no time limit.
In that beaches, one can access the beach for the period outside of the curfew, but for swimming and exercise. Visitation, there is an adjustment with respect to visitation to hospitals. It has the discretion of the hospital management, but persons are allowed to visit hospitals.
He says restrictions are still in place for visitation to elderly homes. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
This is the GBN Primetime edition of news. Coming up, Jaden Stanislaus to represent Grenada National Brain Bee at the 2021 International Championship. The details next. Welcome back to the news. International Brain Bee World Championship returns this year on a virtual platform, and Grenada's 16-year-old Jaden Stanislaus is the one to show off his brain power, hoping to capture the coveted title. Rena Perry-Thomas spoke to the teenager about his preparation for the competition.
2021 International Brain Bee World Championship will take place virtually from November 5th to the 8th, 2021. A total of 43 teenage students representing 31 nations and regions from all 6 continents will gather for an exciting competition and educational social program. Each participating student had previously won their national or regional Brain Bee competition to qualify for the World Championship. The competition was cancelled last year due to COVID-19, but recommenced in 2021, but on a virtual platform. Representing Grenada is the island's 2021 National Brain Bee champion, Jaden Stanislaus from the sister isle of Carriacou. He is also a Form 5 student of the Hillsborough Secondary School. The 16-year-old said he is excited to represent his country.
Extremely excited because, representing your country on the international stage is like a once a lifetime opportunity. Not many individuals get that chance. So I look towards it as a privilege. I feel very confident. I have a lot of confidence and belief in myself that I can at least place in the top 5, I would say.
Stanislaus spoke of how he has been preparing for the competition.
Made a schedule to ensure there's equilibrium between school, Brain B, me playing tennis, and I still want to maintain a social life with my friends and family. Yeah, so I made a schedule to make sure that all these activities got their undivided attention. And every night I try to get in at least 2 hours of study for Brain B. I know I wouldn't be able to get like all the content covered because it's so much, but I'm trying to get at least 80% covered.
Pursuing 12 CXC subjects, Jaden says that sometimes balancing his work can be challenging. Though he is unsure as to what profession he is aiming for in the future, he knows it will be in the neuroscience department. He spoke of how the Brain B competition affected his life positively.
I play tennis, and before, like, I felt I was like inferior to the other players. Like, I would go into matches knowing I would lose because I didn't have belief in myself. But then winning the Brain B, like, it kind of helped with my confidence and belief with playing tennis and also with maintaining high grades in school.
National coordinator of the Grenada National Brain B League, Gail Blackett, says that Jaden will have some virtual support cheering him on during the competition. She said great things are expected of him.
We are preparing Jaden. The Professor Tanya, Dr. Tanya Edwards, and some others are helping Jaden along together with himself because he is motivating himself. He's studying. He's, I guess, praying as well. He's doing everything possible so that he can emerge winner.
The International Brain B's primary goal is to motivate students to learn about the brain and to inspire them to pursue careers in neuroscience. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett-Thomas reporting.
Good luck to you, Jaden. In other news, the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association will soon exist under a new brand. That's according to Executive Director Marva Primus Joseph during an exclusive interview with GBN. Details on their services and more in this Chrislina John report.
After closing its doors for 2 years, the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association reopened in August to serve the general public at its location at the Ponto Street, commonly called Cockroach Alley in St. George. However, the official launch of the association under a new banner will take place next month. Marva Primus Joseph, Executive Director of the GPPA, says they want people to rest assured that the services they provide are treated with confidentiality. With their closure of the association in 2019 due to financial constraints, she saw how important the services they provide were.
I do not have the statistics with me, but if I go to refer by verbatim, we have clients walking up to us, so the building open, they walk up the step, and they said, you know what? Since you're closed, I end up with 1 or 2 children. So it clearly shows that GPPA was, serving a purpose. It's not that we're against having children, but GPPA, we believe that persons having children should have given them space, give them enough time to care for the children, let the body, feel recuperated before, and so planning the family. In that case, you'll be able to manage your finances.
The association is working with a full-fledged staff comprising registered nurses and midwives capable of performing certain procedures and offering referrals if needs be, as well as counseling.
Open for service right now, so persons can come. We offer injectables such as the Depo and the peel and condoms. You can get it by walking, but we are doing procedures such as insertion of an IUD or removal or even check-in. We do pap smear and the VIA by appointments only. Basically, we have those services and some screening tests that will be available soon, such as HPV screening. We also have chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, and hepatitis B is one of those that we want to add. And you can get your basic vital signs checked and cholesterol and HB screening. So
Amos Joseph says they do get referrals from other organizations such as the Special Victims Unit, GNOW, Social Development and Gender-Based Violence, among others.
We provide counseling. Presently, we have a PAHO project going on. We are going to be able to provide services for gender-based violence and women who suffer, or men who suffer gender-based violence. So they will be referred, we administer the services, and they won't have to pay based on that project. But outside of the project, persons can come and they pay for the services and go ahead. So more or less, these
services can be accessed by both males and females. Christina John, GBN.
Preventing cancer, beating COVID. That's the theme for Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2021. With more emphasis lately being placed on COVID-19, one medical professional wants people to refocus for a bit on the fact that people with cancer are more at risk of contracting and dying from COVID-19. We get the details once again from Christina John.
Give yourself this gift this month. Get your examination if you're over 40 and you want to do your ultrasound or your mammogram. If you have a suspicious anything in your lung, in your breast, just go ahead and do that. Or learn how to do your screening. Learn your normal breasts so you can identify if it becomes abnormal. Or go to your health center and ask your nurse or the doctor to do your breast examination, but also to teach you. Having that knowledge is really empowering. Every Grenadian woman learned how to examine her breast. What a great place we'd be in.
That's the advice from Dr. Sonia Nixon as Grenada joins the rest of the region to observe Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2021. Breast cancer has been identified as the #1 cause of death in women in Grenada. A person who has had cancer in one breast is more susceptible to contracting it in the other. That's according to Dr. Sonia Nixon, who explained that women who smoke and have had hormone replacement are among the people most prone to the disease.
A woman, you're more likely to get breast cancer than for a man. If you're a woman between the ages of 45 and 55, you're at risk, increased risk. The woman who's obese, and obesity has in fact become one of the greatest risk factors for a lot of diseases, not the least of which is cancers. The woman who has not had children or who has not breastfed, those are women who are at greater risk. Women who have a first-degree family, your mother, your sister, your mother's sisters, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Here are some of the signs women should look for as indications of breast cancer. Early screening is also recommended.
Look for that solitary lump that feels very hard, that's not painful, okay? That pulls everything. Look for changes in the skin, whether you have dimpling, redness, whether you have anything leaking from your nipples. Look for difference in the sizes, but you can only know differences if you know the baseline. So we encourage women to learn early how to do their self-breast examination. So women under 40 are not encouraged, and women who haven't had children are not necessarily encouraged to do mammograms because the amount of pressure that's put on very indurated tissue. You don't want to do more damage.
Dr. Nixon says this year their focus is on preventing cancer and beating COVID-19. The annual walk put on by First Caribbean Bank did not take place this year due to COVID-19 restrictions. However, the St. George's University Student Organization, Women in Medicine, are joining the fight to build awareness and support the Grenadian community. Just about this time, October 27th, the Women in Medicine and Nursing Students Organization at SGU are holding a virtual breast exam seminar. Along with faculty advisors, they will be going over the steps on how a self-exam is properly performed and will answer questions. Women in Medicine at SGU held their cancer walk. T-shirts and masks are available for sale to raise funds to assist cancer patients. Christina John, GBN News.
In the face of COVID-19 and other challenges confronting young people at this time, Minister with responsibility for youth development, Kate Lewis, reaffirms the government's commitment toward ensuring the development of young people is not significantly affected and remains a priority. Rena Perry-Thomas tells us more.
of November is designated as Youth Month 2021 and is celebrated under the theme Stronger Youth, Stronger Nation. Notwithstanding the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, the month will be used to celebrate the resilience of the nation's young people. Some of the activities planned in recognition of the Youth Month will be used to engage young people in productivity and self-development. Minister with responsibility for youth development, Kate Lewis, declared the start of the Youth Month through an address to the nation's youth on Wednesday evening. She highlighted some of the events carded for the celebration.
As we celebrate and recognize youth achievements, a number of activities will be held during the week October 26 to 31st, 2021. The week will commence with a youth training on the topic self-care. This will be followed by a sitting of the lower house of Parliament, where the National Youth Parliament will seek to approve the COVID-19 pandemic youth recovery and resilience strategy. Other activities will include a togetherness gospel prayer and concert and a youth volunteer weekend across the island where young people will assist in varying community enhancement projects.
The minister reaffirms the government's commitment towards ensuring the development of young people in Grenada as a priority.
Government's unwavering commitment to youth development continues as we invest heavily in youth development programs to ensure the continuation of our many flagship programs such as YouthBiz, Empower, and the new Imani program, geared towards transforming and elevating their lives and values.
The minister also took the time to salute all young people who have and continue to provide their service to the front line, safeguarding lives and livelihoods as the country battles the COVID-19 outbreak in Grenada.
We take this opportunity to salute our young people, including those employed in our health and education sectors, our dedicated youth officers, and indeed all youth in many fields of endeavor as they continue to contribute towards nation building. To our young people, in these uncertain times, your voices have become more important than ever before. As we try to transition to a better world, you will be the leaders of that world.
Everyone is encouraged to be part of the activities planned in recognition of Youth Month while following all COVID-19 protocols. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
To commemorate Grenada's participation in COP26 2021, Grenada resident British Commissioner Wendy Freeman, together with Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience Desiree Stevens, planted a clove tree in the Botanical Gardens. This symbolic tree planting is carried out by British High Commissions throughout the region to mark the Conference of Parties COP26, which will take place from October 31st to November 12th.
Very important conference taking place in Glasgow, 31st of October to the 12th of November. So this tree, we've been planting it with the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Climate Resilience and Environment this morning to commemorate the conference. This is a conference where every party has to come together to make big change. The big change is needed for the future of our planet and to keep 1.5 alive, 1.5, so we don't get any warmer than 1.5 degrees. This is important for everybody, for our future, for our children. And I'm very delighted that Grenada has made significant steps in this regard, submitted of its National Adaptation Plan, NAP, and also an updated NDC, National Determined Contributions, last year. And Grenada has now some of the most ambitious plans, climate mitigation and adaptation plans in the region. So the UK government is very grateful, the government of Grenada, working so hard to do this.
Each island is expected to plant a tree and hand over the shovel to the next island. It was passed on to Grenada from the British High Commission in Antigua and will later be passed on to the High Commission in St. Lucia. COP26 will take place with the aim of hastening action toward the goal of the Paris Agreement and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. Climate Resilience Minister Simon Steele will lead a delegation to COP26 in Glasgow. This is GBN News at 7. Stay with us.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Have at least a 3-month supply of prescribed medications on hand in the event of an emergency or disaster. Keep medications in a sealed, labeled container that you can carry with you at a moment's notice if you need to evacuate. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
It's the kind of music I can jam to for the rest of the morning. Yeah, but I know I can't get all good things, and good reason must prevail anyway. Gotta take the music down. As I say, welcome back to our friends that have joined us on television. Yes, welcome back. And good morning also to those of you just chiming in via social media platforms, be it YouTube or Facebook. Good morning again to you. We're keeping our eyes on the clock as you continue to make progress through the morning. 19 minutes gone past the hour. If you headed in for 7:30, well, I would assume reasonably that you're already on the job. If you're not there and you're not literally running up the stairs, don't bother call the boss and say to your boss, you are going to be late. You're running late. By now, your boss already figured that you're late. You're not running late again. You were just late, literally, as it is. But it is Thursday, folks, and it is Talk the Thing Thursday. Today you get a chance. It's an open line segment that allows you, the general public, to chime in on issues, that troubles you. Maybe not trouble you to the point that you don't sleep at night, but trouble you enough that you think about it, you engage in it, maybe at some point on the JOB, at some point where you're on the bus, maybe you're with your friends, you're at the supermarket. So much is happening. Next week, Monday, November the 1st, we have the phased re-entrance of children into the classroom, not just children, and teachers and students, and still mixed feeling on that. But while we're at it, we have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Are you alive? Your thoughts on the Thursday, please. Good morning, caller. Your thoughts on a Thursday morning?
Good morning. Well, I say good morning. You say good morning, but you say good morning.
Good morning to you.
Oh, yes, say it all. If we want to talk to thing, tell you something, you treat us with love, and you just tell you what we have to say. By saying this one, I'm talking about the School of Med who fire their workers.
Okay.
Now, when you take bread from somebody's bread, you take away everything they have. They have children to manage in the school. They have an exam coming up. They have to pay for their children's exam. If they don't want to take the vaccine, why force them to take it? Why do they have to fire the people from their job? When you fire someone from a job, you take everything from them. They can't help them say no because they have no money to come, no income. I think the School of Medicine should understand you don't force medicine down people's throat. Sometimes you give them something to affect what they have inside.
But let me ask you, is it that they have been fired or they're waiting on a decision from the Ministry of Labour?
Well, that waiting is a long time because I find Ministry of Labour should put in this a long time ago, and the union.
Because the last update I heard was last week, actually, and I think the present status is that they are waiting. But I get the point you're making. Go ahead. But I just wanted to clarify that.
I think they should take them back on the job.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the virus, you can't give it to someone. And if you test them and they don't have the virus, why do you fire them from the job? You don't take bread from people. God gave bread to every hungry mouth. And if you're not working, you cannot feed your people, you can't pay your bills, you have nothing on your own. This is one for these people. I need them to get their job back because I'm sorry for them. I know that they don't have nothing to get when the month comes. They look forward to their salary.
Right.
And you don't fire people from their job. Another point I want to make is about my police officers in Grenada and abroad. You don't kill police officers, you take care of them. If they go the wrong way, you ask God to get them to be working the right way. Our police officers are good people. They are the ones that are sought to protect and help save lives. When they do something wrong, everybody run their tongue on them. Fire them. Why don't you fire them from the job and you want somebody to come and help? Who's going to come and help you? If all police officers leave the job because of what's going on in the world today, everybody dies. Because then we have no protector. They are there to serve, to protect and help save lives. So we have to pray for them, that they do their work in the right way. God put them to help save his children. And that is their duty. You don't say fire them from their job because that's what they do to help save people.
Great.
So you have to do the right things in the world to turn to God. God is the only cure for everything we follow in the world, He's the way, the truth, and the life. And without him, we are lost in the world. Correct. Our life is going down the journey without Jesus. People of the world, make time for God. Go to the Holy Bible and look for the meaning of the word. You could do see the word, the right from wrong. Put down Satan's instrument, they're gone, put it down. You don't take people's lives, you help save lives. That's what police officers do. You're in a burning car, they come in to pull you out from that burning car, they're risking their lives. You're in the sea, you're going to drown, they come inside to save your life. They might die and you live. Okay. So I just pray for all the police officers in the whole world that God will give them a job to do to help save lives, not to take, but to help save and protect. When something happens, you call in 911. Who are you calling? You call in the police.
We understand.
And as the police make a mistake, fire them. Why you want to fire them? When all of them leave the work, what's going to happen to us? The whole world gone because nobody to protect us.
Okay.
They are our protectors, and just pray for the safety and they do the work in the right. If they go wrong, pray for they go right.
Thank you.
God bless you.
All the best to you. Have a great one. 24 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. 435-2041. That's the number that you can call directly into the studio, or you can send your queries via our WhatsApp page. Someone was asking, and I'm happy for that question that's coming via social media because it was my intention, but unfortunately I did apologize again. I was not able to make any successful connection with the Met Office, but I'm hoping that they're listening because someone is asking, that dust that is that we're seeing, I know sometime earlier this year or last year, even in the height of the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent, there's that dust that is seen. So if you depend on where it may look like smog, it looks like dust. I'm hoping that someone from the authority, from the Met Office, maybe they can probably offer some assistance as to exactly what that is. Is it a Sahara dust? We don't know, but maybe we can help, because I'm thinking maybe there might just be some health concerns regarding that. So we're hoping that somebody from the Met Office, or it was my intention when I linked up with them this morning to ask them that question. Certainly hope that they can offer some assistance on that. We have a caller on the line. 25 minutes gone past the hour.
Hi,
your thoughts?
Good morning, Joe, and to your followers.
Good morning to you, sir.
And I want to thank God that we are not out of the woods, but we are getting there. And everything seems to be going down, deaths and hospitalization. Wonderful, wonderful. I want to commend the health workers and the others who stuck with it, and those who have cooperated. But very quickly, Joe, on the matter of vaccination. I heard in the news last week, I don't know if you heard it, that the Taliban, who just took over Afghanistan, they are asking the World Health Organization to come and vaccinate the people. Did you hear that one? Very strange. Against what? Polio. A disease that has been eradicated from the world, most of the world, apart from parts of Pakistan and Afghanistan, where the Muslims had decided that they don't want to take any vaccinations. Now the Taliban have just taken over, and they are asking the World Health Organization, come, please, vaccinate our people for polio, something that the rest of the world have forgotten existed. And I'm saying that to say that while I respect people's right to...
But why do you have this right? I don't think it's fair, just as a matter of correction, to say that the world has forgotten polio. It's interesting enough, there was a report on BBC about 3 weeks ago. Well, probably just about, which was surprising to me as well, that actually the World Health Organization they were on a mandate to actually take that polio vaccine. There was some testing that they were doing for the last trial phase that was completed in some upgraded vaccine for polio, and literally they were taking it on a mission to take it to some different parts of Africa. So just on that, I'm just saying it may not be correct to say that the world has actually forgotten, because only a couple of weeks ago the WHO did give an update on that.
I understand, yes. There are a few pockets in the world where there is still polio, but in the Caribbean, in Grenada, for instance, we still have a few people who remind us of 50 years ago when we had polio. People who still have handicaps and disabled and so from polio. Some of them we know quite well. But all I'm saying is that thanks to vaccination, these things as smallpox and polio and many of those things are no longer with us as they were before. Now, another thing I have to say quickly is that none of us, I don't know if any of us here have lived through a pandemic. A pandemic is not an easy thing. A pandemic is not regular or normal times. But it seems as though many people are treating what we're going through as though we're in normal times. When we had the last major global pandemic 100 years ago, you know how many people died? 100 million is estimated. So far, COVID has only killed less than 5 million, fewer than 5 million. Do we want to see 20 times the number of deaths we have had already happen here? So we have to be very careful. People have a right, but we have to understand these are not normal times. It has happened before. You know what the problem was last time? When 100 million people died, there were no vaccinations.
Okay.
And after those things, there was that effort to ensure that this does not happen again to that magnitude. And we have to be very careful. While people have to exercise their rights and understand, we have to realize that we are not in normal times. So don't behave as though we are when we're not. And I can say, I'm not afraid to say, that my entire family has been vaccinated, from my 12-year-old granddaughter, who lives in another jurisdiction, to my 99-year-old mother. None of us have had adverse effects.
Okay.
None of us. So all the talk we're hearing about people dying from the vaccination, and it's doing this to that person, probably we are fortunate. We are fortunate, thank God. But please, let us be realistic. Let us realize the times we're in, and be wise. That's all I'm going to say this morning.
All the best to you.
Sure.
435-2041 and Stop the Thing Thursday is what we're doing. In response to the first query, somebody says, but Madame Rose, that's regarding the SU saga. This person says, well, ma'am, rules are to be followed. Do you want our country back to August? If they want their job, obey the rules of the institution. This person also chimes in, Mr. Kador, it's time that somebody tells us what's going on in the St. George's Market. Come on, look. It's at the worst state ever. Jamrock, out of control. Yeah, seriously, gambling. Why does the administration employ a manager to manage it? Why don't they? I'll put the IGPF in control. Too much political jobs and no value for the taxpayers' money. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, Talk the Thing Thursday. Your thoughts?
Good morning, JC. How are you?
I'm wonderful as always, thank you.
Let me express my gratitude to you for the vibes that you've been sending through over the last couple of days, perhaps weeks or so. Thank you. Keep it going.
You're welcome.
Jesse, something that troubles me whenever you look at the media, whether it's social media or national media, the case may be, is our reaction and response and action on matters that sometimes questionable. I say this to say that we have the power to think, to reason, and to act. What is the basis of that? To do what? To achieve what? Save lives, save property, protect humanity, create the environment for us to live comfortable or peacefully. What is our objective? What is the purpose then to reason, to think, and to act? It is troubling. No, here we are in a situation that lives are being threatened. There are measures that can be taken to extend, to protect, and to save. And we are reluctant in doing that. How do we see ourselves, whether you're a senior, middle-aged, or young adult? 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, how do we see ourselves? JC, God bless you. Have a great day.
Thank you. All the best to you, sir. Certainly want to say a special good morning to those of you that's locked in via Facebook. Lady Fleming, she says Sahara dust, we're getting it in Trinidad also. So, consolation, maybe in one battle, it's not unique to Grenada, but certainly it would be good for the officials. We get an official response, and there's always concerns in individuals that have respiratory challenges. Good morning to you, Cynthia B, and good morning to Toussaint, locked in from Dominica. Good morning to you. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. It is 28 minutes onto the hour of 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock workers, you better get moving. I'm going to hold your hand and get you there. Good morning, caller. It's Talk the Thing Thursday. What's your thoughts? Share your thoughts.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I respect everyone's views. But the world has proven up the last night BBC News I put on my radio, just like on your station, and it go round the clock. So during the night you have BBC News. There's many other drugs and ways to deal with this COVID besides vaccine. If individuals feel to vaccinate the nanny, the great-great-great-great-grandparents, is up to them. But there's evidence to prove that is many other ways to deal with this issue. And we have a lot of things in Grenada to deal with that. And why it is people cannot understand why it is we continue pushing the narrative that vaccine is the only way. Why are we not choosing to educate people and talk to people about building the immune system and eating properly? Because this is one of our biggest problems. We cannot afford to buy food. This is what we should be talking about. Because there's many other ways dealing with that. There's a country in Africa, the people not taking the vaccine, and they don't have the COVID problem there. People are living normal. There's many other countries, there's many reports around the world, people living normal, living a normal life, all this at a mass and all this at a, and it all boils to education. Eating right is one, and it come back again to hygiene. This is why we keep on using this military and a revolutionary system to get people to vaccinate. For what reason? Why? Something behind it? You understand? People have a choice. You understand? You have a choice to live or to die. That is your choice. But the point is, if you choose to vaccinate your grandmother, your 12-year-old, or whoever, that is your choice. That is what you choose. But there's other ways. There's reports showing you other ways. Doctors are showing you other ways they're dealing with that, and they fix the problem.
Okay.
Why people cannot accept that?
I'm with you, sir. I am with you. 25 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. 8 o'clock workers, we are doing this social media query coming in. Good morning. I want the Minister of Tourism not only look into getting visitors to come into our country and our hotels to boost the economy, but rather look into the harsh treatment faced by local workers at our hotels, especially they make mention of the Royalton Hotel. We are not paid for our lunch hour. There are workers there who are working $5, $6, and $7 an hour, and which is way below the labor standard. We have been paid half salary for the last fortnight, and it's another fortnight, And who knows what is going to happen again. And when we complain, it is said it is okay for us to go to labor because labor has already been made aware of it. 435-2041. Good morning. Talk the Thing Thursday. Your thoughts, please.
Mr. Cado, good morning.
Good morning to you.
And how are you?
I am wonderful as always.
Right, well, stay that way. You know, Mr. Cado, Grenadians are really, really fed up with what is going on. You go to the supermarket, you could hardly buy food for your family. The prices are so high. And here comes the electricity and water. But remember, Grenadians, remember the lie from Gregory Bowen and Keith Mitchell. When we take over Grenlec, the price would drop significantly. That was the main word, significantly. What is happening to us now? Some people can barely feed their children. When you look at the prices of those things, what are we supposed to do? People not supposed to thief, but that's what they have to resort to under this administration.
But that one, while I understand the tone in which you say it, but I prefer not we make that kind of statements publicly. And I understand the tone and air in which it comes. But sometimes you may say something, and some unassuming soul may just take you literally. So I prefer for us not even make mention of it on national radio. Maybe if you want to have a conversation one-on-one, I would understand, you know what, just JC smart enough to know not to even venture there.
Well,
but I understand the point that you're making.
Sometimes you have to venture, in bad waters too,
But I wouldn't want to encourage that one for anybody.
Well, no, you're sailing and you meet bad water, you have to go through.
The only thing I would suggest, and believe me, I understand that argument oh so well, because remember, even without Richard Grenlec, I remember is the concern I have. And what I would probably want to suggest to people, that there's some things that is out of your control, but I would probably recommend to individuals that they try to find ways, and I think ultimately, the economic situation, my dear, is not going to get better. Not just talking about Grenlec. The price of food stuff is happening worldwide. And the Grenlec issue, yes, and I understand that, what the government promised. But outside of that, I think what I want to encourage Grenadians is to find ways to figure out what is priority and what isn't.
Well, what you're saying, find ways to whitewash what is being said.
No, my dear. This is two separate issues here.
The price of electricity,
my dear,
I
agreed with you, and I said to you that the Grenlec issue apart, I'm not discounting that. I'm just suggesting that in the midst of a crisis, there's a Grenlec issue. We can all decide to fight government down, and that is our right. All I'm suggesting is that what people can do in a holistic sense to improve their standard of living is to try to figure out what is priority. So, for instance,
how they going to reduce it, and everywhere you
go. But you're not allowing me to finish.
Well, yes, you whitewash it.
This is not white because I am not agreeing with you 100%. I am offering a suggestion. And the same way I allowed you to give your point, and I didn't interrupt you, my dear. I'm just suggesting that while we wait for it, the minister says 2030, we can always take it as a lifeline. All I'm suggesting is in the meantime, because I understand what is happening. Kids are home. They open the fridge 100. Those things add to the conversation. So you know what I do at home? The children home? Freeze water. Put it outside. I personally do that. So in the night, because I know I open the fridge every 2 seconds because I drink a lot of water. So I freeze a bottle of water and I put it outside. So it restricts me from having to do that. I'm just saying that as you go through the pandemic, because it's not just the electricity bills, but other factors, we need to find ways in the midst of a crisis while we wait on the saving grace of the government to get the rates down. We still have to do something. That's all I'm suggesting.
That would not change the price of sugar, so have a good day.
Well, then we probably need to cut down on our sugar consumption just the same. 435-2041. Let's see what's happening. We continue to, it is Talk the Things Thursday. Please, what has happened to the great plans for the four ladies in St. Andrews, openly voicing some time ago about plans for Grenville? Have they forgotten? I'm not too sure what that one is about, but maybe if they're hearing, they are going to figure it out. Well, to the Minister of Labour, we want to know how much contracts your secretary have under other people's name, and how much. Okay. Okay. You know, there were some things that it seems almost an indictment. I mean, folks, there's some things you have to forgive me for this one. I'm starting to read it on social media, but there's some things that actually seems like personal attacks about who's giving contracts to their boyfriend, and those are things you have to be able to have facts to substantiate it. Yeah, I'm not saying you don't have it, but if you don't give it to me, I'm not going to participate in it. I am really, 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 really sorry. 19 minutes on to the hour. It's Talk the Thing Thursday. Your thoughts, please, in the morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, concerning with the gas price and thing in Grenada.
Yes.
Now, this gas price is a worldwide thing. Remember before the COVID,
yes,
come in, right? Okay. People used to be traveling more, right? Okay. Then after when the COVID hit the world, people travel less. So then there was less demand for gas on the international market. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So now that they bring the vaccine, they implement the vaccine, and then, you know, some countries in the world, the COVID starts to kind of go low, you know, so to speak. So now people start traveling more.
Okay.
You know, and as people start traveling more now, you find is a great demand on the international market for gas now, so the gas price gone up, you know. And, you know, we don't make gas in Grenada here. So even though the caller said that they promised to lower the gas price, you know, we have to understand, my brother. He said that before the pandemic hit Grenada here. He said that. So if, okay, like, for instance, if somebody owe you and they tell you, my brother, you will get paid month 10, right, okay. And something happened in the family die or the house burn or so like, and they say, okay, they won't able to pay month 10 again. You know, they go kind of drag it still until they pick up themselves. We have to understand that. Cost of living high all over the world, my brother.
Okay.
All over the world. This is not a government thing. There is certain things the government don't have control over. So people have to understand that it's not just come in and talk things on the TV that they hear other people saying.
Okay.
And excuse me, the brother that talk about the vaccine. No, the vaccine is something. I want the guy come out and tell the public where he getting the cure for the virus or to keep down the virus. So I want to come out and tell us which part. If scientists saying that it's only the vaccine could give you immunity, I want him to come out and say where he will get you immunity, if it's boiling bush or whatsoever.
Okay. 435-204. What? It is 16 minutes onto the hour in the morning time. It is Talk the Thing Thursday. This other person says food prices, they're high all over the world, not only in Grenada. And, you know, I've said to people that we need to find different ways. It is okay. Yes, we can, and we have our rights to complain, to bellow, to bawl. What do we do in the meantime while you wait on the saving grace for something different to happen? We go back to the telephone line. Talk the Thing Thursday. Your thoughts, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, sir.
I noticed that you start drinking more rum now, and others like you drinking much more rum. So, sugar price would go up because during the days of slavery or a few years back, we used to plant sugar cane, and people do not plant sugar cane again. Even if they plant it, they do not make sugar, although we call it sugar cane. Maybe we could call it rum cane now. Now, I look at this as a serious situation. People are not interested in, let's say, planting things to get for their own self. The government has the right to meet people, discuss as to how they would help to solve the problem, not how government or the 15 handful of them or the 15 of them would just get together and say do that and do that. the people must participate for the development or the fall of the country. If they do not take part in the discussion to develop the country, you wouldn't get people obeying. Now, I don't know if ministers have they have the skill or the know-how to say what to do and expect people to do it. What we have to do is to grow more of our crops that could grow down here. Look at the nice weather we got for the whole year. No storm, no excessive sunlight, no lack of places didn't get in water. All over the country was getting water. They didn't even have to call the WASA and say, there is shatters of water. And even now, we're getting a fair distribution of rain throughout the month. So we have to get people to tell the people what to plant. In fact, we have food. All what we have to do, you laugh at that when I come into it. Go and get some salt water or buy salt, put it to evaporate, and once you have the food, you will be able to survive and you have enough water. So we want food, not telling us what to do, how the vaccine is good to build your immune system. Your immune system, as I already said, don't take 2 weeks to build. And you have to build the people's immune system in the hospital or help to build it when they go to the hospital or in the homes, the other homes then.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's what I look at.
Thank you.
Forget about the world and study yourself or study ourselves. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. 435-2041. And by the way of information, well, public officers, your accounts have been credited. So says Ariza. They're happy to announce that the government of Grenada salary increase back pay has been credited to the accounts of public officers at their respective financial institutions. Ariza remains an ally to public officers in this evolving economic climate. Some great news there, folks, as you go and collect and you spend and you disperse. Please do remember me. I want to shout out my dear friend Akeem. Good morning, Akeem. Good morning, Akeem. You and I can have a conversation. We can have a conversation, comrade. That is not a problem. This person says it is public information that needs to be brought to the country. Too much underhand corruption in the administration. Not any personal attacks is known, so stop hiding for the NNP. Okay, let's see what else is happening out here. Reminding you, it is Thursday. As you go through the day, we're going to wrap in just a while. At the top of the hour is going to be a bulletin of news from the BBC. Continue to keep yourself informed and educated. Remind you folks that you and I, we may not always agree on everything, but trust me, and we're not ever supposed to agree on everything. The day that happens, you know that something is definitely wrong. We look at this comment here, they say they destroy agriculture and want to blame us. We have nothing to export, only importing everything. They cease producing sugar and make rum, like we in a drunken nation. They sold out our agri-processing plant, and we have to import other countries' products. Even saltfish we made. Now, we have to import. So, who's fooling who? Agriculture is the main pillar of any country. Concrete alone, are they investing in? My dear friend Akeem, he wants to know, do we have investigative journalism in Grenada? What is the purpose of the GWN? Why do we keep avoiding the talk of propaganda against our leaders? What happens to investigative journalism? What happens to the quest and hunt for truth and facts based on allegations? And I'll respond to you, my dear friend Akeem, not online, but as you rightly said, there are time and place to make your allegations. You can't just go on a public platform and make allegations that are unsubstantiated. That's a different conversation. Good morning, it's Talk the Think Thursday. Your thoughts, please, on the Thursday.
Yes, pleasant. Good morning, JC.
Good morning to you.
You know, sometimes I think the illiteracy and the electoral capacity of our people sometimes can become into question, sometimes it cannot be. For example, the lady that made a pronouncement as relates to the government promise on the reduction in electricity after the repurchase of Grenlec. What it is she was articulating, a responsible government and a responsible minister who would have articulated on the repurchase of Grenlec the intention of the government is for lower electricity rate. The government is aware that the prices of gas and so fluctuate. So instead of having the people buy into the promise, what they should say, our intention is to make electricity lower for people. However, given the nature of the industry, it may not be possible now. However, that is what our intention is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. 8 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. It is Talk the Thing Thursday. You get an opportunity to chime in on matters that literally anything that bothers you. School, Monday. Everybody's up and about and ready for that. The re-entry into the classroom. Are you satisfied that we've done enough to get our children back into the classroom? Good morning. Your thoughts on a Thursday?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your thoughts, please.
I have a slight problem.
Go ahead, please.
Hunting season is open, but it seems like it only open for the police in the night. Police is meeting you hunting, you alone in the bush, in the forest in the night, and they still have the heart to give you a ticket, saying that you're breaking curfew and where is your mask? You alone. It's unfair. Only the police who can hunt. Only them.
So when you say they hunting, are you using hunting literally or figuratively?
Say that again?
No, you were making a reference to you hunting and the police. I was asking, you referring to they hunting in the bush figuratively, or are you talking about they doing the same thing that you're doing?
They are doing the same thing that you're doing, but it's illegal for you to do it. But it's okay for them to do it because they are police.
Well, that's interesting. Hunting season is open, then it's open for everybody. The question of violation of the curfew, that's a different conversation by itself.
I quite agree, but I thought the purpose of the curfew is to more or less keep down the spread of the disease, more or less to isolate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not seeing the map where one person is in a mountain and he's not isolating himself. Yes, he's outside there. I understand that.
Right.
Just like the same, like the village shop. Mm-hmm. I can't see why a village shop have to close 5 o'clock when everybody who comes to the shop from the village is literally walking to come to the shop. So a village shop can close later than a supermarket. If I have a shop, I go to work 7 o'clock in the morning, I come home 2:30, 5 o'clock. My shop cannot open.
Right. I think ultimately what is needed is understanding, dialogue, and the use of discretion on both sides. Now, I understand the argument you make of the village shop, but I think the question is, can we find a balance where persons going to the village shop, the question is what happens? And I think it's a culture that we all agree that emanates from a village shop. We go there, and if we hear the expression, you give an inch and we take a yard, and I think that's what happens. So against the law enforcement, they have
what keeps the village shop open is a consumption of alcohol. If we accept the fact,
but there's also the mass. But there's also the mass gathering. Right, but there's also the mass gathering. So I think, and that's what exacerbates the spread of the virus when individuals are meeting and meet collectively.
But the mass gathering that we are speaking of will also happen between normal days.
I am not saying so, sir. I'm not.
But that person who comes from work, who's trying to make 2 ends meet, cannot open his shop at all because he comes from work 4:35.
Mm-hmm.
His shop cannot open.
And I understand the point that you're making, sir, but at the end of the day, we have to strike a balance. Do we say no because that one person should be given the authorization to open beyond another time because everybody...
The reason why I said that, mm-hmm. I am seeing other people home open and same police sit and dine in.
Well, then that's a different now you're telling me something different.
No, what I'm saying,
you're telling me something different.
What I'm saying to you, it seems like it only applies to certain
people.
Then
here's what I would suggest to you, sir. If you, for any given reason, you see double standards being employed by law enforcement, you have a right to, if you approach an officer, to ask him his badge number respectfully. And that's where you use, you call the hierarchy within the Royal Grenada Police Force, and you make your complaint. It doesn't mean because they're doing it, it doesn't make it right. Remember, they're there to uphold the law, but they don't get a free right of passage because they are law enforcement. Your rights as a civilian, as a citizen, if you see the law is being broken, whether it's by an average citizen or law enforcement, you have a right. That's where you take it to the hierarchy of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Thank you. I'll go and I'll make a report of the same policemen who are hunting in batches in the night.
And certainly you reserve your rights to do this, sir. And nothing is ever wrong with that.
Thank you. Have a blessed day, man.
All the best to you. 4 minutes on to the hour. 4 minutes on to the hour. Good morning to you, Peter Mitchell. Good morning to everybody. Again, that those of you that's following via social media. Folks, these are special times. These are, in fact, special times. And I want to encourage us to do what we have to do. Find ways and means, people, to do things differently. Here's what you may probably be required to do. It may probably mean that instead of you having a mobile phone that you use by yourself and you're paying a particular amount, maybe you may want to check one of the mobile subscribers and decide that, listen, and I've done it, certainly you decide, what, a couple of friends come together and decide, let us put together and pay for a particular mobile plan. A company has a mobile plan that is $100. It gives you a certain prescribed amount of minutes. We can share it. Folks, these are special times. Celine said it best in her Christmas song. These are special times. And we can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. Yes, government has its role to play, and we agree with that. But I keep saying, while we wait for that, what do we do? Peace and love to you. Good morning to my Sue Brenda Fleming and everybody else that is there. Kipling Francis, as we leave, he says, if things continue the way that it is going on now in Grenada, we might have to change the name from Grenada to Gone Forever. Thank you for your comments, sir. 3 minutes on to the hour, we join the BBC for a bulletin of news at the top of the hour. Yes, indeed, we are sweet, as we are as a nation. Until then, everybody, so long. Continue to live life and love life. Be positive. Keep a positive mental attitude and keep doing what you do to become the best version of yourself. So long, everybody. JC loves you. I'm out of here for now.